Hello everybody and welcome back to Screen Stars. I'm here today to bring you my review for the 2019 horror thriller I Trapped the Devil, a film that is written and directed by Josh Lobo. Now this is a film that I was made aware of a couple of months ago, several months ago. Saw a trailer of it and I thought the film looked really interesting. And this film essentially focuses on a character called Steve, who is a guy who lives on his own, and it's around Christmas time and he's not expecting visitors, and then out of the blue his brother and sister-in-law turn up for a visit out of nowhere, which displeases him immensely. He's not very welcoming as a host. And the reason for that is, for the last 2 years he has got in his basement, locked up behind a door, who he believes to be the devil himself. And he initially is very distrusting of his brother and sister-in-law. He confides in them and then ultimately becomes suspicious of them. And that is basically the film in a nutshell. Does this guy, who may be suffering some kind of mental breakdown, does he have the devil in his basement, or is he basically just going mad? And that is the film. Now, what did I think of I Trapped the Devil? Ultimately, I thought it was filmed very effectively. Some really cool direction going on here. Some nice imagery going on throughout the film, some interesting dialogue between the characters, and it is essentially just these three characters for the majority of the film. Some interesting debates, moral, societal debates going on throughout the film, so it's well written, some good dialogue going on. But for me, unfortunately, the promise of a payoff, I have to say I felt decidedly let down by the end, because we get this build up, we got all this creepy stuff going on that seems to support the evidence that there may be something evil in his basement, in his cell, locked away, and then it gives you doubts. So it keeps that balance pretty well throughout the film, because we've got this guy Robert desperately trying to get his family to believe him that this is happening, and he is so convinced of what is happening. And then obviously, imagine if you were in this scenario and you went to a relative's house who lived on their own and for Christmas, and they gleefully told you that they've got the devil locked up in the basement. What would you think? You'd think they'd gone bloody mad. And it's not really any different here to a large degree. So that you've got these dynamics going on within the house. What do? I think what essentially they did, I wouldn't have done. I think I would have done something differently than them. I think if that was me and I went to my brother's house and he told me that, I would make my excuses and leave fairly quickly, and then the police would be knocking on his door, because he clearly would need help in my mind. So some of the decisions that go on in this I question, but I understand why things happened in this film the way they did, for dramatic effect, or to prolong the movie, all that kind of stuff. I understand it, but for me the payoff was desperately disappointing. Anyone going into this expecting to see this huge horned creature eventually come crashing out of a door, you're going to be desperately disappointed. And that's not a spoiler. I'm just trying to lower your expectations, and I might have enjoyed it a bit more if I'd have maybe been given that heads up, and maybe a little bit, because like I say, the dialogue was excellent, it was filmed really well, there's some creepy imagery going on throughout. It was pretty good at building tension and doubt and fear and anxiety. It was pretty good at all them things. And what really helped as well was what I think a really effective musical score, that was really creepy at times. I'm not kidding, really creepy. And even what you might not have been seeing on the screen without this music wouldn't have been half as creepy and half as effective, I don't think. I thought the musical score was one of the most effective I've heard for quite some time, and really enhanced this movie. Because this movie without the score, I think, would have been very, very dull and slow to a large degree. And for some it may well be that anyway, because this is not a fast-paced film. It's mainly just dialogue between these characters, with a few investigating scenes going on and all that kind of stuff, and some interesting imagery thrown in here and there. So I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I was a bit disappointed with it, I'll be honest, but it still works as a movie as long as you go in, understand what you're going to watch. It's more of a thriller than a horror, but it's effective at what it tries to do, and it's different as well. I've not really seen a film like this. I can't remember anyway, so it did try and do something different, and I applaud it for this. And it is a well-made film. I've seen some reviews on IMDb where people have claimed it's bad acting and stuff. It's certainly not bad acting. I thought the acting was very good in the film, and it's a good independent film, so I suggest you check it out. If by what I'm saying this film sounds interesting to you, then I would give it a go, because it might be a bit hit and miss with some people. So I hope you enjoyed this review, I hope you found it useful, and of course I shall see you next time on Screen Stars.